you. Thank you.
Good morning, Colorado. I see you, and I appreciate all of you. Good morning. We love you, Buffaloes. It is time to skip the BS. It is time for Undisputed because Michael Irvin is here. And Keyshawn Johnson is here.
Trojans!
And we're going to forgive him for wearing that raggedy old USC hoodie that he's wearing from 1996. Boom! Boom! Boom!
So wait, all of a sudden, where were you at 15 years ago with the Colorado madness? You had Mike.
I got my Buffalo Jays on here.
Well,
We are here.
tomorrow will be fun.
It will be fun. We are here because Dion is here.
Yes.
Tomorrow at noon Eastern, live on Fox, we've got your school. We got Caleb Williams and the USC Trojans right here against Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes.
Well, we're talking about two young, talented quarterbacks. Right now, completing over 74% of their passes. I mean, those are accurate quarterbacks. Now, which will have a better career? I liken this to two guys that are in the NFL right now having great careers. And those two guys, you talk about these two young quarterbacks, I'm likening them to Patrick Mahomes, that's your quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, and a Joe Burrow. That is Shedeur Sanders.
That's high praise.
When you talk about the talent, skill set they have, hey, listen, Williams runs around like Patrick Mahomes and is gifted a thrower as anybody. And he fell up into the perfect place for him in his game and his skill set, USC. Shedeur Sanders, just like Joe Burrow, sits in the pocket. He's a quarterback that's athletic, not an athletic quarterback.
Yeah.
Just enough talent to move out of the way, stand in that pocket. He will stare down the gun and deliver the ball. USC is an established situation. That's what Williams has. Shedeur Sanders, just like Joe Burrow, had to go somewhere and build it from the ground up. He did it at Jackson, and he's doing it here from Colorado. That's what I see. I say both of them are going to have a great career. So why are we sitting there trying to split hairs? They both going to make about $70 million a year. You know what I'm saying? So let's just be real. Both will have a great career.
So, Michael Irvin feels strongly both ways.
I think both will have great careers, as I've always said, with young, talented quarterbacks. Number one, where are you getting drafted? Circumstances matter. Situations matter.
Right.
What team are you going to? What are the coaches looking like?
So, and Patrick Mahomes fell in a great place with Andy Reid. Great organization.
Great place. Now, I don't know if Michael was looking at my notes in the makeup room or not, but the reason I say this is because when you look at Caleb Williams and Joe Burrow, right, and I looked at both of them and I said, okay, when this question came up, who could I somewhat compare him to in the National Football League? Obviously, Caleb is well known. Everybody knows who he is. Patrick Mahomes, okay, he runs around. He freelances like Patrick. He also can throw within the pocket like Patrick.
Right.
He does all the same similar things. Now I have to find a comp for Shedeur. And I said to myself, I said, who could that be? Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow can move around, and he also can get out of the pocket when he needs to.
And he will stare it down.
And he will stare down the gun barrel and deliver the football in sync.
Right.
Then I also looked at Caleb Williams in terms of size, body. Who does he remind me of? He reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts because they're both about 6'1", 218 pounds. Now, Jalen's lower body is probably a little more muscular because Caleb still has a little bit of the young stuff jiggling a little bit on the bottom. But at the end of the day, once he gets into the professional weight room, that thing will, slice down and sharpen up. I think they both will have amazing careers. You mentioned 74% completion percentage. One guy throws one interception on the year, and that's Shedeur. Caleb, 18 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
That's incredible.
Incredible. Both statistics are incredible. Caleb is working with more than Shedeur is in terms of the team, putting everything together. And that's okay. We want to see more of Shedeur from an NFL standpoint, but it does not mean that we won't see more over the next 10 weeks of Shedeur to make a decision. Hey, is he ready for the National Football League? I personally like my quarterbacks to play longer in college so that they're ready in the National Football League. But that's okay, because Joe Burrow didn't play. He only gave us really one good year, which was the last year prior to that. And that was a year. And that was a year.
It was.
So Skip, if we turn on the match to Shedeur and all of a sudden he catches fire, he may surpass Caleb.
He might.
Because, again, as I've always said.
And that's the point.
And as I've always said, and I continue to say this because this is what I believe, coaches in the National Football League that make the decisions, general managers and presidents that make the decision, they're not really watching these kids right now. They're taking a look at them here and there, but they're worried about their own jobs. The real evaluation process starts when the regular season of the National Football League ends for the decision makers. So I think they both will have great careers. I would like for Shedeur to stay with his dad. I don't want to see him leave, but you know he may leave. Just never know.
Okay, so we have often had the Patrick Mahomes versus Joe Burrow debate on this show.
It's not really a debate, but go ahead.
Well, that's what you say, because I'm still pushing hard, even though he's been hurt with his calf, for Joe Burrow. So I'm going to take your comparison, which I love, and I think at the highest level it fits on both of these young quarterbacks. But I'm going to pick a side because I'm a Burrow over a Mahomes. So I'm a Shedeur over Caleb, and I'll tell you why. I'm projecting way into the future because we don't have enough body of work from Shedeur yet. But I'm going to remind everybody out there, Shedeur Sanders has been sacked more than anybody in college football so far this year. He's gone down 22 times, and God knows how many more times he's been touched, hit, or pressured. He is under siege on nearly every snap. He does not move to run. He moves and slides to find the uncovering receiver. The more I watch him, the more he grows on me, because the other thing you cannot forget, his rushing attack is dead last in college football. So of 134 schools, nobody has run the ball more poorly than Colorado has. Help me out. If you're a quarterback who's been sacked the most with the worst run game in all of college football, what does that mean for your degree of difficulty? It's impossibly high. So let's grade him on something of a curve here, because the more I watch him, the better he gets.
And that's fair.
Okay,
that's fair.
He had a long, hard day at Oregon. But if you look at his numbers at Oregon, 22 of 33 for 159, they don't look that bad.
No.
Under fire from a defense that was playing like at a top one level that day, because, they came out on fire because they were going to put Deion back in his place. We went through that last week. But the point is, Shedeur he might be 3 inches taller than Caleb. And you and I have gone back and forth on this.
He's a 6'2" guy.
Yeah.
Caleb is probably 6'0".
Okay, I'm not sure Caleb's 6 feet tall. And you have a big problem with Bryce Young because he's 5'10" and an eighth. And he is a very small man. And he is small and he is slight. But at Alabama, they raved about small, slight, durable. He would take his beating and get right back up at Alabama. And he never showed any flinch to
he's
at
already
Alabama.
missed the game.
Okay, I got it with the ankle. All right, but it happens. But that wasn't like he missed a game because he got
he missed a game. That's all.
Or he's missing the season.
Okay, I got you. But I'm just saying, I watched Caleb very closely at my school, Oklahoma, because you stole him from my school. Stinking Lincoln Riley snuck out in the middle of the night and
we
went
stole
to USC.
Somebody from Oklahoma that had a desire to move to Southern California to get skies like this 24/7. We stole him?
Yeah, well, he left a better tradition for a less tradition, but that's okay. You can wear your sweatshirt all day. I don't care. Yeah.
Come on, man. You just talking now again, Skip.
No.
But you are right. One thing you are right about
Caleb measures 5'11" and 3/4.
But he won't. He's a 6-footer all day long.
I'm not sure about that,
100%.
but I do give you this. He has got a power base.
Yeah.
He is standing on.
His lower body is stout.
Okay. This is just me. This is not my flavor of quarterback because, again, I've watched Caleb a lot. He is man among boys in college football because you cannot get him on the ground. He is playing backyard football at the highest of levels because he's going to drop back. If it's there, he'll take it. But a lot of times, He's just going to run around and shrug off pass rushers left and right and
But that's a
spin
skill set.
Okay, I got it. It is a high skill set. You want to talk about durability? I'm knocking on wood for him. When you go up another level, you're going to take more of a beating than you're taking in college football.
That's the point. That's
all
the
right?
point.
And at the next level, as we all know, the athletes in the secondary get a little bit better, a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger,
Right.
and you can't just make it up on the fly and get away with it like you can at USC.
There's a guy that we compared him to that's been to 3 Super Bowls.
He has.
5 AFC Championship games in a row at home.
Right. Mhm.
Okay. 2 MVPs.
Right. No doubt.
So you can make it up on the fly and just go.
Well, no.
You can make it up on the fly and just go.
Well, we said this in Kansas City, you can because you have the base of a great offense.
Course.
It's not working on the fly in Chicago with Justin Fields.
No.
Well,
So let's be real
but
here.
Justin Fields ain't Patrick
It's not
Mahomes,
working
though.
on the fly. He's on the
Playmaker. He's
on
not
the
the
fly. It's
same.
not
You
working.
compare
So
two
come on,
different
let's be real here.
quarterbacks. You're comparing 2 different type
But we were
quarterbacks.
talking about the running around and throwing the ball. Now, because you can't outrun the defensive ends, and that's what Justin Fields is learning. That's what Caleb Williams is going to learn when you get in the NFL. You can't even outrun the defensive ends, let alone talk about outrunning anybody.
You two
so now
are
you
sitting
gotta
up
find
here.
your way to get that ball downfield. That's the reality
Michael,
of it.
you have allowed him. You have allowed Skip to sit
And it
here.
doesn't matter about how big or how small anybody
Michael.
is. We said to Andrew
Are you
Luck,
not-
we said to Cam Newton can take the pounding, and they 6'4", 250 pounds, and they gone. You know what? Because they
Michael,
couldn't take the hit.
are you not-
Nobody
Rich,
can take the hit.
Michael,
Let's just be
you-
real.
are you listening,
I'm
man?
just trying to help him out.
Are you
Come
listening?
on, be my congregation as I preach to him. Just say a amen, and let's pass the plate around here, because I'm trying to help him out. Thank you for doing
Mike,
that.
thank you.
I'm
Michael,
telling
you have
right
set up here and allowed Skip to convince you
No.
that all Caleb Williams does is run around.
No.
Is
I'm not saying that's all, but I'm
But
saying
that's
it's
what he done. He just convinced you
we
of that.
pulled out
He-
one
No.
point. We extrapolated one moment.
You have allowed
and-
this man
Yes.
to get into your brain to make you
Yes.
think that dude just runs around.
I
And
didn't
I
say
know
just.
damn well you watch film.
I didn't
And
say
you-
just. And then
What do you mean?
Then he said he could do it. I said, not
He
at
can
that
do
level.
it. He can do it
Not
if
at
that
level.
presents itself. The same thing
It's a
that
greater
Joe
difference
Burrow
than
does.
that,
He
but he
moves
can't live
around
on
and
it.
delivers the football.
Well, we're
He
talking
does
about
not
two
live
different-
on it in
let's
college football.
Let's clear this up.
What do you
We're talking
mean?
about- it's a greater asset to have
Yes.
talent and gifts.
But Skip
you
is
can't
making
live
it sound
on
like
in the
he's
NFL.
living on it. Don't let him convince you that
just
the man,
saying,
the
I'm
man
living
did
on it.
not. He is
That
not
was
living
the
on it.
conversation we were having. I'm not saying he's living on it, but that was the conversation we were having. The conversation we were having is, can he live on it in the NFL? And the
Nobody
answer is
can.
no.
Nobody
Thank
can.
you for coming over
But
to our side.
No.
That's what we said. We said
Nobody,
that 10 minutes ago.
Nobody
I'm sorry, it took us 10 minutes to
Nobody
get there.
can. But
Right.
he has a certain skill set that will
That's
allow
a
him
great
to if he
asset.
needs to.
That's a
Skip
great
makes it
asset.
seem like 99.9% of the damn time that's what the kid is doing.
He does it a lot. He does it 50%.
Skip, are you-
50% of the time. And by the way,
It's
I did
true.
watch your game at Arizona State, and I know he's got 0 interceptions, but he threw 3 balls, and I'm thinking they just dropped him. He did not have a great game.
You can have a bad
Okay?
game.
All right, okay.
We just talked about the Cowboys having a bad game against Arizona.
That's just a
How
shot
did
at
they
me.
come up?
I think that's just a shot at me because I came in and moderated the situation. You see what I'm saying?
It's not a shot. We talk about
Dude,
people having bad games.
I told y'all.
It's a bad game.
all right.
I told y'all Key was trying
But
to
here's
come
what
in.
I would say.
I told you.
In terms of what you said 5 minutes ago or so, you are 100% correct and right about Shedeur's ability to surpass Caleb. And I give you that because the body of work isn't there. And as I said before, Caleb is working with a whole lot more. Our running game is really good.
Listen, it is really good.
We stole a running back from South Carolina.
Named Marshawn.
Is really
Who
good.
looks like
I like it.
Marshawn.
It looks like Marshawn. And we got a bunch of receivers that's going to play on Sundays. So I give you that.
Yeah, and I think your offensive line is pretty good.
It's
pretty
much-
good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, no, we'll see tomorrow.
Much better than what
Okay.
Shedeur's work.
All right.
Yeah, way better. Way better than ours. If you
Okay.
push
And
Shedeur,
to
if you
that.
push Shedeur in our offense wouldn't miss a beat.
Right.
Wouldn't miss a
And-
beat.
and to
Maybe
that-
even better.
to that,
It
Skip,
might
you
be
alluded
better.
to it, Skip. You alluded to it. He's taking a beating, but that is going to give him some clout, even on the next
I
level.
agree.
Because everyone sees that. And taking a beating and never once complained. Never once
I haven't
any of
heard a
his
peep
guys
from
under
him.
the bus.
Not a peep.
Not anything.
No.
So you got to give him credit for that.
Okay, so the more I watch Shedeur, again, the more he grows on me because I am seeing rare poise, feel, touch, command, accuracy, and just the ability to see it, read it, and execute it under siege, where he's under fire. And it doesn't seem to bother him. He doesn't see ghosts. He doesn't seem aware, like dangerously aware of what's going on around him. He just keeps his eyes downfield. He is textbook. Tom Brady is mentoring him, is tutoring him, and I think it shows. And you brought up Burrow. I think there's a little bit of Brady starting to go on there because he's being taught to play that way.
And you got to also take into consideration this is his first year in this particular offense.
Absolutely.
Caleb has been in the offense 3 years now, one at Oklahoma and 2 at SC. So you're going to see a totally different situation at the quarterback position between the two. This is why it's so important to let the season play out when you're evaluating talent. You can't just have a knee-jerk reaction and just automatically assume, oh, that Caleb is going number 1 overall, because we just don't know.
Okay. But let me say this. I think we're going to have a great showing Saturday here because we didn't talk about it. And we haven't said this. I feel like Colorado went down to Oregon, and that's a lot of pressure. We talk about all the great things that Deion has brought. No one's ever mentioned the pressure that has to be on these kids that kept building and building and building. And I think it got to them a little bit in Oregon. I'm expecting a different place. I'm expecting those offensive linemen to be different tomorrow. I'm expecting a great game between those two quarterbacks and the ball all over the football field. It's going to be great.
Yeah, our defense isn't, I give you, our defense is not what it probably should be for a national contender.
That back end.
You know, it's just our front end's okay. Our back end is suspect.
Right.
You know, I am a little, not worried.
Just a little worried.
But a little, you know, I win either way. This is put it that
way. Even though you are 21.5-point favorites tomorrow.
Yes.
21.5.
But we went on the road, Skip, as you mentioned, to Arizona State. We went on the road to Arizona State, and we had to fight our way to get back on the plane.
You did.
And so we don't play well on the road. In a hostile environment, this is the first true test that I think our team will have coming into Colorado, where they just was like, got wounded at Oregon. So they feel a certain way about tomorrow. They feel a certain way. That's just what happens when you get run out of a building and you got the next game. And as I said to you in private, I believe, Skip, sometimes you get Colorado State and you figure, we're going to walk over them because you already looking ahead, even though you say you're not looking ahead. In your mind, it's just human nature. You're looking ahead. You're looking to Oregon because you figure, hey, I got Colorado State.
And when you get in one of them games, Key, and you try to turn it around when you're in a game, it's the hardest thing in the world.
It's too late.
And do not underestimate. Shedeur has been without Travis Hunter as a receiver at Oregon, and Travis already been ruled out, obviously, with this lacerated liver for tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's high degree of difficulty, but we are going to get to evaluate Shedeur against high-level opposition. Starting tomorrow, they got to play Oregon State, another top 20 team, obviously. Then they got to play Utah. They got to play Washington State. It is a hard, long road.
Arizona's not a bad football team either.
And Arizona State, as you just talked about. So we are going to get to evaluate him thoroughly by the end of the year. Most of the draft experts so far have him as a second-round pick who could make it into the bottom of the first round. Well, if he keeps playing like I think he could, I think he will start to challenge for the top of the draft. Right now, Caleb is the bona fide, hands-down #1 overall pick from Mel Kiper and everybody else. So let's see how it unfolds. But to your point, would I like to see Shedeur come back here for another year? He's got a year of eligibility. In fact, he's got 2 years of eligibility. I don't know if I want to see 2 more years of college football for him because he's going to make a lot of money. But as you point out, he's already making pretty good money here, right?
Yeah, I saw him last night.
Did you? They all are.
Yeah.
Don't even tell us.
I'm not going to tell us.
Don't even say.
He was out styling last night.
Styling is the way.
I look back and say,
styling is the way to put it. They get to do that with
NIL money. They get to do those sort of things nowadays. Where me and Michael had to hide ours.
So I think
wait. I ain't hide nothing. I don't know nothing. Nobody knows
Statute of limitations is over.
Okay. Okay.
I got paid. I ain't gonna lie to you. They got paid well.
I ain't saying nothing.
I ain't gonna lie.
Wait, has the statute of limitations run out on that? USC might have to go on probation.
Put it this way.
How much
Some of those same people that was probably trying to sanction us, they ain't even with us no more. That was so long ago. They done checked out already, man. I ain't worried about that.
I'm scared of that one.
All right, I think we convinced Keyshawn that Shedeur is going to be better than Caleb. That's
no, I don't.
Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't say that.
Yes.
That's not what I said. I didn't say that. What I said is he has an opportunity and a chance to surpass him by the end of the year. Opportunity and chance. And I know everybody has him in the second round. Doesn't mean anything.
Not right.
It drives me nuts when people say, oh, he's the second round pick. The evaluation process does not start until the end of the NFL season. They have not had an opportunity to sit in, grade him, look at it, skip through all of it.
They're watching TV.
They're watching television.
But I tell you what process is going on right now that's going to be interesting is and you guys talked about it earlier, is that Heisman process. I know we look at wins and losses when it comes to Heismans, and you're expecting Shedeur to have more losses than Caleb and all of that. But the reality is, no one has ever gotten this kind of attention. And can the attention that Shedeur is getting kind of offset some of the losses that he may sustain as he moves towards a Heisman?
And his statistics are comparable. You think about it, both of them are over 75% completion percentage. Both are Caleb's at 300 per game. Shedeur's at 352, 12-1 ratio on the interception to touchdown, and Caleb is 18-0. That's deadlock.
Right.
Got it.
You know, and if he continues to keep winning with the attention, you never know. He may
All right. We do have a bunch of Dallas Cowboy fans with us here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And up next, we're going to talk about Zeke's return to Dallas on Sunday. Will he wreak havoc or will he just reap? Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.